So guys, we'll do the assembly together, I was thinking, so that that's on record and I'll have a video of that, so anyone buying one of these will have a much easier time than me putting it together. That's what we're going to do. Just for now, here's what you get. So we have the manual, nuts, bolts, washers, handle, chuck, nuts and bolts again, little handle, 3 handles for the side, lots of handles it seems like, the hand vise, the work plate, base plate, column, and then in here we have the actual motor, the actual drill. So that's it. So a couple of pockets of screws and stuff. It's not actually looking too bad, he says. So I'm going to take the manual inside, the instructions inside, see how far I get before giving up, and come back in here, put it together, put that on film, and then we'll have a first try and a little review together on another episode. So that is the Schepach. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it anyway. Scheppach DP16SL. I think it's about 150 quid. But as I say, I'll put a link in the description. Check all that out for you, so you can see the details. So cool. Here we go. Right guys, first things first. Simple as you like. This is the climbing mechanism, and that has 2 rings that it fits into. Allen key on the top one should loosen it up. He says, a bit stiff, loosen it up again. As far as I can see from the paperwork, page 1, which I'm about to show you, the climbing mechanism should be at 3 o'clock to me. I'll show you that there. So the drill, you would work on the drill like this, and then you've got your lever here, your dial to dial up and down. So let's just lock that in place for now. I think that's right. And then it says, here's page 1. Yep, page 1. So there's an idea of what it looks like put together. First things first, lock these in place. Second is putting these in. They were already together, so we'll move on to 4 once we've got these 3 bolts in the base here, which I'm going to do now. There's 3 black bolts, and this is a screw thread, so it shouldn't need a nut on the other side. It should just screw in tight. We've got page 1 nearly done. The last thing is this piece, which is this on this. So what I don't understand is how am I going to get this on? Surely that should be underneath there. So why would you put this why would you put this collar on and then this? Surely you'd put this on and then this. That's not the order they say to do it in, but clearly that is what should happen. I would think this bolt I don't know. It doesn't say to tighten that up, but this is already on there. I am admittedly pretty done with this stuff, but I don't seem to be helped. Okay, so clearly something is going through there into here so that this can then wind. So to be able to wind, okay, so what I'm doing is I've put the one black, it's not a bolt, but it has a screw head, and if you can see in there, there's a mechanism and it's turning it. So that means when I turn the handle, it will turn this cog, and the cog presumably will climb this. Which, believe it or not, does actually have an arrow, so I know which way's up. Now if I can just leave that there, then this would go in here. Famous Allen key would lock it in place, would it not? Probably not. Wrong Allen key. How can that be the wrong Allen key? There's only one. There is only one, but that's not the right one. Okay. It's looking better. I'm not tightening everything massively, as I said a million times. And there we go, that is actually descending on its via the mechanism. So I guess that's kind of right. What else do we have to lock in here at the back? I presume we have one of these. That can't be right. Not long enough. Aha! Simply this. Which would just mean you've got your mechanism here, and this is just holding this, gripping this tight around the climbing mechanism as much as I can. Right, so we have the base plate, we have the work plate, I'm going to call it. Sorry for not knowing the correct phrases. Nothing's tightened, that's on. Page 2. So we're starting with number 5, which is there, and I believe all that's saying is put the motor on there, on the upright pole, so let's do that. Should be interesting. Looking goodish. I'm not really quite sure. I think I need to hold the weight is that? Hold the weight and then undo this. Oh no. So I have once again a little Allen key to lock this in place. I believe that's as far as it goes. So I think I'm just going to have to well, even with forcing it, I can't get it any lower. If you did see the unboxing, you may remember this wing nut fell out. I'm guessing this, yep, that's where the wing nut came from. So you can see this one, there's one on the other side. I do have the wing nut, I do not have the bolt. Well, I said we'd discover it together, we certainly are. As I said, I got this from Italy or Spain or something, so it comes with an adapter, a UK plug. Hopefully that's the right way around, probably not. Good. So that was number 5. Number 6. Just so you don't think I'm completely pathetic, I mean I'm not great, but it's pointing to this. Which I believe is this nut that's already tightened. This is the problem with these instructions. Half of the things they want you to do are already done. So you think you've got no clue what's going on, but actually, well, some of it's done, so you don't understand why. And then some stuff that should be done is not done. Number 7 has a diagram with number 4 pointing to thin air. So that's useful. Hang on. There was lots of sawdust in here earlier, so it must be time for sawdust and coffee. As I say, this is going to be on a flip-top workbench. It's pretty heavy, but I think it'll work. There's 2 holes only in the base plate that could be used to lock it down onto the top of the flip-top workbench. By the way, if anyone's ever watching a video thinking it's always the same time in here, that clock's broken over my shoulder, over my left shoulder. So I'm going to lock this down to the flip-top workbench, and clearly I'm going to need quite some leeway underneath for this to, what is this? I need to measure nearer the time, but that's 750. 750, yeah, so 29 inches, maybe 29 and an eighth. So I'm going to need that leeway underneath, which is good because I don't want it this low anyway. So my workbench needs to be sort of here because I want to be working at least at this height, but probably higher. So that will give me plenty of space underneath. I'm 6'2", so I need the tools a little higher. We've also got the bandsaw, the dreaded bandsaw, which is pretty similar height actually. So these two will probably go on the same workbench, and then we've got the bench sander, not yet arrived, and the zipper jointer thicknesser, which is heavy, but its footprint is quite small. So that'll be on a second flip-top workbench, and that probably will be a bit lower. At the moment, it's about 4'6" high, and that's a bit high for me for the jointer. I want that a bit lower. So one tall, one short flip-top workbench would work great. Anyway, now clearly okay, that's in. It doesn't seem right that it would just is it screwing on? Let me just check. Probably half the people watching this know exactly what I'm doing wrong, but half don't, and that's what I'm here for, to screw up so you don't have to, which today is working out extremely easy to screw up. So there's no thread in here, and there's no thread on here. So if I put this up, then gravity's holding it, which is nice. And I can feel that's turning the motor. Of course I've jumped, haven't I? That didn't say to do that. Okay, now it's going to get complicated. We have, actually this part's not complicated. Let me try and turn this. So we have this arm, it has 3 threads, screw threads. So that's pretty obvious what's going on there. Well, at least that was easy. With the line telling you to put these on, but the line goes nowhere near them, of course. So, number 8, I had jumped the gun. Number 8, all it says is, I mean, clearly it's not going to float in midair, so presumably you push up. But as I've just said, that's just held by gravity at the moment. That can't be right. But that is number 8, so we'll come back to that. Number 9 is a dome-looking nut, which is this one. Now I'm thinking, no I'm not, best I don't. What is that? It's definitely, oh I say definitely. Yeah, it's that one. So there's what we found here. But unfortunately, it says all this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it doesn't tell us what to do with it, which is nice. And then we have yet another. Is that 10? Yeah, that's 10. So pointing to the screw that is on this side. I won't spin it around again. It's literally just a screw, slot screw that is at the moment north to south. But it's in there. It doesn't tell us what to do with that one either. But I'm thinking, nope, they're nowhere near each other. Okay, so this is the opposite end to the to these 3. So I guess that's the tautness of what we're. Oh, I don't know. Getting there. I think this is just a picture of a design of what's already been done and readied on the piece. I don't think that's something that's necessary now. 11 is the little dial. Just pop this down again, which is here. And I think what it's saying, because there's no words of course, I think what it's saying is the 0 on this silver, almost like a small measure, should be in line with the 0 that is, I'm taking my time. This is the mechanism underneath this plate, so here. It's telling me there's a bolt and a screw, which there certainly is. It's also telling me that there's this piece that we put on earlier to tighten, and we have tightened it. And this piece that we put on a long time ago. Okay, all to be tightened and sorted out later, maybe. 13 is take the hood off. 13.1, so there's 13, take the hood off. 13.1, open it up and apparently do nothing. And 13 and 14 is the height gauge. Now I'm going to look stupid looking for this because I have no clue where it is. Here it is. Ah, the stuff I do. So this is the height gauge. This is a bit like a router with your block stop. So these two nuts here, if you lowered these down to the bottom of the screw, when this goes down, that would block, so you can stop at 20 millimeters, for example. Wasn't so terrible. Now, of course, the nut in here is only finger tight, because I messed with it, but then surely I shouldn't be able to. They should know I'm going to mess it up. So there we go. That part is actually pretty safely done. Yeah. Now I don't know why it's telling me to take this off. Now if you're thinking, oh my God, don't plug that in, you've screwed up somewhere, I can see it happening, it's about to explode. Now's the time to tell me. But I think we're good. I'm going to test the laser. Jesus. Okay, the laser's definitely very James Bond. I don't know if you can actually see that on the screen. You can definitely see there's a mess in here, but that's what happens when you're halfway through clearing up. So, laser's definitely working. So electricity's on. Now, the problem I do have is, this was only, to my mind, held by gravity. I don't really understand. Not sure. See, I can't pull it off. So what's up with that? One of you knows. Let me know. The center point is bang on the center. That's great news, because God knows how I'd have fixed that. We're looking good. I guess we'll turn it on, and if this is my last video, don't do what I just did. But if you see me again, follow the instructions, or don't follow the instructions. Follow what I do. Now, I believe the gears are these things, these little guys. So, I don't know if you can see that very well. The little cogs. So I presume you take the belt off and move the belt up and down. And obviously that'll be smaller and bigger distances, and therefore that'll make the speeds different. I'm not doing that now. The next video will be seeing if I can put a hole through my hand or something similar, but generally seeing if this works. What I can't can't quite work out is this whole motor is fixed at this level. Actually, it's about 4 inches taller than this level, as you can see. So when I turn this, presumably, even if these security nuts were right up, it wouldn't go further than there, which is fine. But with a drill bit down to here, and the fact that this table moves up and down, why would there be so much between the end of the drill bit and the base plate? And we're talking 18 inches. I guess you might have a big block and this work plate would be really low, the big block would be on top, and then you'd have space. But basically, I'm only going to be able to, I'm only going to be able to get a depth of, oh dear, 60 mil. Tighten everything up, put it to one side, and then I'll show you using it and work out this this depth situation, because it is what it is. It's for straight cuts, and I don't know how often I'll be using what and when. I'm confused. So what's new? Well, at least you know how to put it together. And then I've just noticed there's these bolts left over. Isn't there always something left over? These, I believe, are for holding the base plate down to the workbench. So that's not something I'm going to worry about now, obviously. There you go, guys. If that was extremely long, then I forgot to edit. But if it's not, then hopefully that's helpful to, even if it's helpful to one person who doesn't have to go through the instructions on their own like I did, then it's worth it for me. So that was the Scheppach DP16SL putting together of, and next video will be the trial, and if I've managed to use it, my first use of this I'll film, and then a bit like the zipper jointer planer thicknesser, I'll try and use it a few more times and give a review, which will be, with my limited knowledge, a review like you would do if you also have my limited knowledge. So good, we'll see you on the next. I just wanted to, for safety's sake, I just want to make sure this was understood. So if you wind down the jaws like I have here, then you put a piece of wood under the jaws and above the plate, obviously, and then lower the chuck down onto the wood, and pushing that up fixes it in place. I guess it's a tension fit, and there we go. And the other thing I wanted to show you was this. So there's a wing nut here excuse me, on the side. Loosening that and pushing this forward will loosen the tension on the belt. I'm just saying, if you look at that belt, it's very, it might well be fine, but it's hardly the smoothest. You can see here, it's it just looks a bit crappy, to be honest, but I wanted to point that out. But as I say, next video will be full use, and we'll see how that works out. Cheers guys, bye bye.